Hello and welcome back to another video by me, Blut084, BLUT084. Art and Games. I'm here again, guys, and instead of what I normally do, go off stream. When I'm off stream, I'm recording this video, but what I normally do is you've got a face cam that's either facing the TV showing you what I've been listening to all week. I found I'm getting a little bit in trouble for that, so I've stopped doing that for now, guys, but you can still listen to them because they don't mind me doing that. They did mind me showing the comics because they were getting flack from the comics themselves, and just without getting in trouble myself, I thought, well, we'll just listen to them because I like to listen to Comic Story. But anyway, I'm here, and this camera is now going to be showing you what I'm getting up to, or what I've done on the paper version. Because on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday we always do a paper version of the art of the week. This week is the Hulk, but this month has been half and half. We've done half the face and half the mask, or the other creature, person, whatever it is. And this week has been the Hulk. Hopefully you have been watching up until now. Yesterday we did the first part of the digital version, but Monday we did the sketch. Tuesday we did the inking. And then on Wednesday we coloured that one in with my Copic markers, which were really crap, but they're all I've got at the moment. So yeah, that's what we did, guys. This here, I'm just going to move my face up like this here is what we've got done so far. I'm just going to minimise that a second. Yep. So you can see that there, what I've done. That there is what I've drawn on paper already. Again, I'll show you in a second what that is, but I'm using the same camera to do the same thing. What you can see here is the digital version. We've done all the different layers. You can see right beside my face the different layers that we've used. We've done different two sides of it. We've got the Hulk, and then obviously got the Bruce Banner. I'm going to be doing a little bit more to the Bruce Banner, giving him his eye, give him a little bit shading here and there where it needs it, but I don't think it needs too much, this one. We're obviously going to be putting a bit of hair on him as well, and sort of giving him a more of a hair look. With the Hulk, it's going to have a whole lot more shading, because the picture that I drew, it looked a lot better when I put a lot more different toned colours and a different shading, so I'll be doing the same thing for that one there. And yeah, that's what I'm be doing today, guys. We're going to be listening to Comic Story in the background, continuing on where we left off with the playlist for the Hulk, like we always do. And yeah, we're getting on. I've got to give my computer a smack because the screen's just turned itself off again, so I can't even see what I'm doing. I love it when that happens. So while I do that, guys, I'll move this camera, because I have no idea what I'm doing now. I can't even know if you're seeing me. So I'm going to move that there, and I will get on with what I'm doing. But you can listen to the Comic Story. Again, my name's Blut084. BLUT084 Art and Games. I'm here every single day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram. If you are a fan of Comic Story, don't forget to go and check them out, or if you need a link, ask for one down below in the comment section. That is all the way down. You've got to scroll all the way down to the bottom to leave a comment, guys, and just before you get to the comment bar, there's a subscribe.
Entire history altered, making it so that within his entire timeline, he was Hydra. And he finally felt that it was time for Hydra to take over, so he systematically conquered the US. The heroes were pushed to the side as fugitives, the X-Men pushed to the north in their own nation, and the Inhumans were all locked up. The Resistance thought that this was the end, until the secret of what had happened to Steve finally reached their ears. A spark of hope was ignited, and they set off into two groups. One to kill Steve Rogers and one to recover the Cosmic Cube fragments and fix it. During all of this, we discovered another Steve Rogers inside of the Vanishing Point. Steve within the Vanishing Point helps the woman that he saved walk through the mysterious forest. When he finally sits down, it's because she's poisoned. She asks what he meant by he was trying to get home, and he explains that he has no idea where he is or what's going on. He woke up here, and he only remembers the basics: name, rank, serial number. But he has a feeling that there is somewhere that he is needed, someplace.
Like I said, that's Captain America. We are continuing on where we had the playlist from, guys. I think it's sort of working its way backwards, but it doesn't make it too bad because we're explaining what's going on in the comics. It is what are we listening to? A Secret Empire. That's what we're listening to, guys. Resurrection of the Hulk. Okay, so if you don't already know, the Hulk has been killed, and the Hulk is somebody else now. The Hulk, the power of the Hulk got transferred into somebody else because Bruce Banner didn't want the Hulk anymore. But that's why we're doing a 2 and 2 and half and a half. We again, guys, if you want to learn anything about this comic that I'm listening to, or this comic series, then don't forget to go buy that comic yourself. Or if you can't do that, which is what generally what I can't do, then don't forget to go and check out the Comic Historian or Comics Explained. That's who I normally listen to. That's who we're going to be listening to again in a moment. I will let that playlist go in a second. But like I said, now the screen's working again. I've given it a whack. Is in doubt, give it a whack. We've got two pictures. We've got the paper version here and the digital version, which is what I am doing now. Because we've done the paper version that I've done. Again, as you can see here, I put a hell of a lot more shading than I have on the digital version, and on this side here we've got some shading as well. You can't see all the shading that I've done here. I've done a lot more. There's a lot more darker tones in the actual these parts here and stuff like that. I didn't do it all in black like I did here, because I didn't want to give it too much of a tone. I wanted to give it a skin tone, more of a shaded tone. On the paper version. That's what I'm going to be trying to do in this here. Again, down in the bottom, underneath the paper version picture, you can see all of the tools, and they're the tools I'll be using today. You'll see as I go through what tools I'll use. I'll try and tell you which one each one is, but what I'll probably do is minimize this here, stick him up in the corner, and then move this one here, snap him into screen so you can see the full image. But you will see them the names of them pop up. Give me a second, I'll show you what I'm going to do there. Like that there, you'll see them pop up as I'm using them. I'll try and wait a couple seconds on there so you can see what they're called. But this is called, this app here, which is what I'm using, is Critter. It's completely free, guys, and it's basically Photoshop. The only thing that isn't the thing about Photoshop is it's completely free. So if you guys want it and you would like to have a go at doing some digital art yourself, then don't forget to leave a comment down below, guys. Like I said, leave a comment and I will leave you a link if I haven't already. If I haven't left a link, then please definitely let me know that I haven't, because I'm so lax sometimes when I forget to put things on there, and I don't always put a link for people to see. So yeah, I'm going to be getting on with this, listening to some comics. I generally don't talk too much over when I'm drawing, because I can't concentrate sometimes, and I just like to get on with the art, get on with what I'm doing. As much as possible. But you can see that picture up in the top corner there. I'm going to be trying to put the tones and colours up until now. So let's cover off one side and get that side done first, and then I'll overcover that other side, and then we'll get that side done as well. I try to do one side at a time, because obviously you've got a green tone for the Hulk and you've got the skin tone for the skin tone. So yeah, let's get that playlist going, and I'll stop waffling.
That he needs to see. As she coughed up from the poison, he picked her up and he began to carry her through the forest. Meanwhile, in deep space, Peter Quill, Rocket Raccoon, and Baby Groot are standing in front of someone. Greetings, everyone! Thank you for coming. I hope you like the snacks that we put out. My name is Peter Quill, but obviously you know me as the amazing Star-Lord. And these are my associates, Rocket and I am Groot. We're coming to you today on behalf of our planet, Earth, my homeworld. I am Groot. Earth is under attack, its most powerful country taken over by this evil organization called Hydra, which turned out to be led by a guy that we all thought was a hero, Steve Rogers. Captain America. I am Groot. Now hold on. Not everybody buys it. This is the real Steve Rogers. Could be a clone, a robot, a doppelganger, who knows? Now, to keep it straight, a lot of folks are going with the nickname Hydra Cap, Captain Octopus Head, and I'm partial to Stevel. But even with the interruptions from Rocket, Peter continues. Here's the big part. He built this force field around the planet, trapping everybody on the surface, and we don't have the firepower to take it down and get back to Earth. So we've come here to ask for your help. I am Groot! And then in front of Peter, we see the various races in space. Kree, Skrull, Badoon, all of them. We, of course, are very familiar with Earth, so just to be clear, every Earthling is trapped off of the planet by the shield, and the few remaining ones on the inside are facing certain death. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. And with that, the councils begin to shout at Peter, shooting at him. Death to Earth! As he runs for cover, he calls up Captain Marvel to inform her that the request didn't go so well. Meanwhile, down in Newark, New Jersey, Black Widow is continuing her little journey to recruit people to help her kill Steve Rogers, and it has brought her to Maria Hill. They go back and forth about how Black Widow is turning over to Hill's way of thinking, and then she hands Black Widow the intel that she promised, Steve Rogers' social calendar. So Black Widow snaps at her. This is all you have for me? It's the best I can do. Informants are hard to come by when they know that they're going to be facing a firing squad. And most of my best people are already inside Crossbone's super prison. There's some good chances here, and when you take the shot, all I ask is that you take some pictures. You're disgusting, Maria. What, he gets to kill half my friends, level a city, and I'm the bad guy for wanting his corpse as my new wallpaper? We all cope in different ways, Natasha. Besides, who are you to question me on morals? I hear you have kids working for you now. What she's referring to is the fact that the children team, known as the Champions, has sided with Black Widow in the superhero debate of how to handle Steve and Hydra, and she is training them to become killers, even though they are still insisting that there is another way. Meanwhile, over in Montana, Sam Wilson, the smuggler, former Captain America, tries to tell Tony Stark's team that this is pointless. They can't save the world with most of the world agreeing with Hydra. It would appear for many people that Hydra suits them just fine. No one is fighting in the streets and no one is opposing him. As Sam tries to walk away, though, they explain that they have an answer. They can save Steve Rogers. They just need the Cosmic Cube to reverse things back to how it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, Steve reports to his Situation Room to an astounding, "Hail Hydra!" The operation, led by Baron Zemo, is underway. They're attacking Atlantis, the supposed home for one of the Cosmic Cube fragments. He leads the charge into the temple where they slaughter many of the Atlanteans, and they move into the temple where Black Ant finds the supposed fragment. Doc Ock moves forward to test the validity of it, but finds that it's fake. Namor has tricked Hydra again, making multiple fakes and hiding them all over the place. In response, Baron Zemo stabs the priest in charge of the temple and ensures Steve that he will find the cube. He will search until there is nowhere for Namor to hide it, and then he blows up that portion of Atlantis. As he gets these reports, Steve also gets the report of another cube fragment. One in a very sketchy area, a very hostile area. They ask who Steve wants to send in, and he informs them that he'll handle this one all by himself. Meanwhile, Tony Stark's AI has convinced Sam Wilson to help them, and he begins to move them through the backwoods to get them to safety. His rules are simple. Everyone listens to him and no one runs ahead. But Mockingbird notes that the device that Tony Stark has made to track the cubes doesn't actually say that this is where the cube is. So why not tell everyone where they're actually going? Tony shushes her, because if they knew where they were going, no one would go. They'd be fools not to run the other way. And in this area that everyone is heading to sits one man. No one expected to be on Earth when the shield went up. Hank Pym merged with Ultron. Pymtron sits in his home informing his Jarvis to open up the front gates to everyone. Let them walk in. It'll be so nice to see the family again. Over inside the Vanishing Point, though, the alternate Steve Rogers lays the woman down to rest and he continues on his journey alone, hoping for the possibility of a better tomorrow. He walks forward, snapping twigs and branches as he goes. Then various Captain America villains jump out to stop him, and two more individuals run up to save the day. Together, the three of them drop each of the enemies and they stand triumphantly together. All three men have the same condition, though they can't remember anything, and they agree that they could use friends, perhaps even family. So, Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, and Sam Wilson continue to walk through the forest of the Vanishing Point. But Black Widow's team, the Red Room, she has a Hydra agent hostage. She begins to beat him relentlessly, taking a knife to his throat. His screaming attracts the kids who walk in, telling her to stop what she is doing. They insist that this is torture and she needs to end it. He obviously doesn't know anything, but she explains that he is on the cook staff in the rebuilding ceremony, and he was given a tour of the site, which means someone needs to get her duct tape and a blanket. Once again, the kids argue against torture to get the information, and Riri walks over untying the man, who proceeds to grab the knife from his boot, leaping at her, shouting, "Hail Hydra!" Luckily, Black Widow shoots the man before he can get anywhere, and then tells the kids, "Wonderful job! Now we have to switch motels." Meanwhile, up in the far north, in Alaska, Pimtron's territory sits Tony's team and Steve Rogers' team approaching it. Tony explains to his team where they are. The area is dubbed the Ultronic Territories, and most people don't even know that it exists. Before the planetary shield went up, Pimtron returned from the stars where he was last located after fighting against the uncanny Avengers, and we will link that story down below. Instead of trying to destroy the world or attack the Avengers, he instead built a city to the north where he builds more Ultrons. Hydra declines that it even exists, and rumor has it that Steve and Pimtron have an understanding. Scott Lang steps forward asking if this is really Ultron because it's wearing Hank Pym's face. Tony explains that it is wearing that face as a trophy. Ultron and Hank are merged, and ever since then he's been a villain trying to defeat the heroes in the name of Hank Pym. If you're curious about that story, it's called Rage of Ultron, and I'll link it down below. While they are approaching, Jarvis reports to Pimtron that they are there.
I hate to see them like this, you know? We're supposed to be a team, a family. Now look at us, divided, torn apart. But all is not lost. I can fix this. I will make things right. Hank Pym is going to save the Avengers.
At that moment, everyone runs to their objectives, and right away they cross paths with the opposing team. Ant-Man versus Black Ant, Mockingbird versus Taskmaster, and Sam Wilson versus Vision. But the most significant is Quicksilver versus Scarlet Witch, to which he's surprised that she's even around, but unaware that she's possessed. As he runs off from her attacks, Herc declares that he'll help Quicksilver, but that's when Odinson arrives, swinging his axe at his former friend. In the middle of all of this, Steve comes face to face, so Tony starts AI. Tony, Steve, not gonna lie, kind of excited about kicking your butt and nobody being mad at me afterwards. You're not the only one who's been looking forward to this, Tony. Tony fires his blast and Steve blocks them with his shield, and at that moment Pimtron enters the scene, blasting everyone and knocking them out.
No, 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 this will not do at all. I'm sorry it had to be this way, but please know that I've missed you all so dearly. It's so good to welcome you home again.
They all wake up, bound to a large dinner table. Where are we? It's Avengers Mansion, or some kind of replica of it. Seriously? What is this? And that's when they see Pimtron there with an apron that reads, "Kiss the Overlord."
It's really nothing. It's a little something that I whipped up in the kitchen. Honestly, Jarvis did nothing.
Mockingbird says it best. This is officially the creepiest thing that I've ever been a part of. Agreed. Ultron, you will release us now, Odinson adds. And Pimtron walks over.
Ultron? Thor? Don't you recognize me? Can't you see my face? I'm your old pal, Hank Pym. Though I look around the table and I don't recognize most of you nowadays either.
Tony steps in. I can help with that. Steve's had his reality rewritten by the Cosmic Cube, Scarlet Witch is possessed by a demon, Vision is infected by an AI virus, and Thor just wants his hammer back.
Actually, Tony, I was referring to your side of the table, or more specifically, you in fact. What happened to the charming, charismatic figure that we all were in so much awe about? Who is this nervous, overreaching mess of a man in his place? I don't understand it. I know it's you in there, but what's the point of the old armor? Nostalgia?
Steve helps out, though. Hardly. From what I hear, he's so drunk he can't pilot the newer models. Everyone begins to argue again, and Pimtron eventually stomps it.
Enough! Listen to yourselves, bickering back and forth, always at each other's throats. It's all you ever do anymore. What's happened to you? Where did it all go so wrong? You know, this is exhausting, and in this form I can't even be exhausted. Do you know why Ultron built this city and didn't come after you? Because you're tearing your lives apart. He didn't need to attack you, you're doing the work for him. He can just wait you out.
Steve takes this moment to chime in. Ultron, I agree with you, but Hydra is going to change all of that. Bring an end to all of this weakness and corruption.
Oh, of course, Steve, of course. Just like Tony's grand plans for the Superhuman Registration Act made everything so much better. Or when Wanda tried to fix things, creating the House of M. Oh, but that got a bit messy, didn't it? You always have big ideas for fixing problems, but you keep making things worse. That's why I brought you here, so that we can all sit around and have a nice dinner together, break bread and laugh like the old days, reconnect with what we've lost.
Steve certainly tells him, I'm not interested in nostalgia. You have something that belongs to Hydra. And Mockingbird stops him. We have a slightly different idea of who that belongs to. But Tony chimes in. Do you have any idea why we stopped having these dinners? These parties out by the pool, Hank? Because of what you did to Janet. Pimtron snaps, growing in size and grabbing Tony.
How dare you! I discovered Pym particles! I took artificial intelligence to the next level! I founded the Avengers Academy! What have you done? Your arrogance started 2 wars, your incompetence put Norman Osborn in power, and now you lecture me!
Scott Lang begins to talk down Pimptron, telling him that while Scott himself was a screw-up, he looked to Hank as a guy who didn't let screwing up hold him back, and he still sees Hank as someone who would do the right thing. So, Pimptron shrinks back down to his original purpose. He invites everyone to have dessert, except on Scott's plate is the Cosmic Cube fragment. Everyone gets up to leave, and Pimptron allows them, but before he can leave, Steve asks Pimptron, "Ultron, what was the point of the whole charade back there if you were just going to hand the cube over?"
You keep calling me Ultron.
Wait, is that why? Steve loaded up and everyone left. He went back to the Supreme Command, and it is there that we see Namor waiting for him. After destroying locations in Atlantis, Namor was there to deliver the piece of the Cosmic Cube so that he could end the conflict between Hydra and Atlantis. Regardless of Tony winning against Ultron, Tony's team is still not ahead of anything, as Steve just got a piece anyway. And honestly, he's not too concerned about Tony winning back there either. They have a man on the inside. Someone working for them on Tony's team. But who could that be? Over in Washington, D.C., Viper gets a report that the Hydra agents have just captured Black Widow. She walks in to see Black Widow in chains, and so they begin to question her as to what she was planning. Meanwhile, outside, the champions are looking at the facility and they decide that it's time for a rescue mission. Black Widow proceeds to give up all of the information on her plan, steal a Hydra transport ship and kill Captain America. Viper is shocked. Why is she giving her all of this information? And Black Widow looks her dead in the eyes. Because, Viper, you shouldn't be concerned about me. You should be concerned about Supreme Leader finding out about your little illegal operation here. Or you could help us out, and not only would you be spared of Steve's wrath, but you could lead Hydra when we take him down. Viper pulls out two guns, shooting the guards next to her, telling Black Widow, just a moment. The champions actually were breaking into another facility to rescue a shriveled old man. Meanwhile, Tony continues his journey and they arrive in Wakanda for the fragment that T'Challa has, but he refuses to give it up. Instead, he offers Tony's team the option to bring him the fragments, and he will use them to complete their cause and do exactly what they want. But he doesn't trust them to have it. So they go to their next location, Madripoor, where they rescue Shang-Chi, who supposedly has another fragment, and as they find out, he lost his when Hydra beat him, and it looks like it was the X-Men that took it. The fact that they aren't collecting any more pieces brings Sam to question Tony's device, the one that's supposedly tracking where these shards are, and it's obviously not working. And Tony tells him that there must be some residue of the fragments that are triggering it. It does work. Trust him. Everyone begins to disagree that this is becoming a problem. They haven't won anything, and they keep losing the fragments. What's next? Over in Washington, the Hammer of Mjolnir sits in a field, and Ambassador McCoy of the mutants in the North questions why Steve just left it sitting there. Steve welcomes him, asking him how things are in New Tian. And McCoy explains that there are problems, but the mutants have their own nation run by them now. It's a day that he never thought that he'd get to see. So Steve asks him, "Well then, can you explain to me why Kraken has told me that you have something that belongs to me?" McCoy tells him, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And Steve tells him, "There's a reason that I left this hammer in the field. To remind all of those around me of its power. That at any time, I can lift it again. The hammer views me as worthy, so it is by my compassion that I do not use it." McCoy asks him, "Are you threatening me?" "No, I'm reminding you. I assume I'll be hearing from your office soon." Steve leaves McCoy there to think on that for a moment, and as he boards his helicopter, he questions how his Avengers are doing. They explain that Vision is fine under the control of the AI virus, though there is a hiccup once in a while. But Odinson? He's a bigger problem. You may have been wondering why Odinson teamed up with Steve at all. Well, he questions if what he is doing is the right thing. Hydra tells him that they can save Jane Foster from Purgatory, the one that she now resides in, and that they can restore the bridge to Asgard, but he senses that all of this is a lie. The things that he has seen, the innocents being persecuted, the evil gaining control, fear taking hold. But he questions all of it, because Steve Rogers is worthy, and if he is capable of lifting the hammer, when Odinson is not, then shouldn't Odinson just follow him? Steve informs Hydra that Odinson listens to him and he'll talk to him. So with everything still moving forward, Tony's team returns to base, to home. They say hello to everyone and Tony goes into his lab where he meets up with a few of the others and they ask how things went. Raj asks the big question, "Did you tell them the truth?" The kid from before asks what truth and Tony explains it to him. It didn't go well. Tony, in fact, has never had a way to track the cube fragments. They're working entirely off of Rick Jones' data. Tony just built them hope, a pretend machine that made them think that they had a chance. But elsewhere, Mockingbird makes a call. This is Mockingbird, and we have returned to the base, and we only have 2 fragments. Up above, Hydra's dreadnoughts move in, and Tony feels them approaching, shouting, "Turn on the shields!" They open fire on the mountain base with the resistance, and Steve gets a report that they won't be able to break down the defenses. So Steve tells them, "Do not worry. I have a secret weapon." Meanwhile, in the vanishing point, Steve, Bucky, and Sam walk forward until they trigger a trap. Sam is captured, Bucky is knocked out, and Steve is hit in the back of the head. And that's when they meet their assailant, Red Skull. Back in the regular universe, Steve walks into a room where he sees Bruce Banner, a very much alive Bruce Banner. The Hydra agent explains that the spell that they used to revive him is only temporary. He has very little time, and Steve might want to make this happen fast. Odinson then leaps from the battle carrier into battle, shouting, "Forgive me!" And he slams into the side of the resistance base, taking out portions of the mountain with him, and barreling into the headquarters. Yet all he can do is dent the wall as the shields are holding up. The team asks Tony if Odinson is strong enough to break through, and he tells them that he isn't, and then he turns back to the group. Our problem outside is being handled, but inside we have a larger problem. Someone in this room is Hydra. Everyone begins to turn on each other, such as accusing Quicksilver of running off and helping Hydra. But he defends that those times he ran off, explaining that he was looking for his sister. Meanwhile, with Steve, he stands before Bruce. "Steve, can you explain something to me? You're Hydra now? How long have I been dead?" Steve tells him, "I understand that this must be disorienting for you, and I wish that I could explain everything, but unfortunately you won't be around that long, Bruce." Back with Tony's team, Quicksilver asks Mockingbird why is she sneaking off making secret calls, and she outright tells them she's actually been reporting everything to Maria Hill. Using this as a moment of truth, Roz steps forward explaining Tony's device never even worked. Everyone begins to reveal secrets and argue, and that's when Scott Lang steps up. "Everyone, stop, alright? It was me, I'm the traitor, I called Hydra." Back with Steve, he tries to explain everything that he can. What happened to Banner, why Hydra is good, and why he should be helping them. And Banner tells him, "No, just put me back in my box." Steve looks at him. "I wasn't talking to you, Bruce." The eyes of Bruce Banner begin to glow green. Quicksilver turns on Scott, slamming him into the wall, demanding to know why. And Scott tells them that they got Cassie, they found his daughter, and they're using her as a hostage. And that's when Tony sees it on the screen, the one thing that can break through the wall, and the Hulk smashes through it. Steve jumps down to walk in after him, and the Hulk begins slamming everyone around while they try to fight against him, all except for Hawkeye. He takes a knee, ready to face his judgment for killing Bruce all those months ago. The Thing runs in shouting, "It's clobberin' time!" And he throws the Hulk into a wall, so the Hulk counters with a punch so hard that it breaks off pieces of the Thing. Raj steps back up with the ultimate distraction for the Hulk, androids of the original Avengers team, and he sends them off to distract him. The Resistance uses that chance to flee. They try to get out of there, but there are hundreds of Hydra soldiers opening fire on them. When they get to their ship, their only escape, there stands Odin's son, ready to stop them all. Until he tells them to go. Get out of here. They load up into the ship and they blast off to escape, all except for Tony, who decided to go back to his lab where Steve was waiting for him. They begin to punch it out as the Hulk begins to degenerate and fall apart, turning dead again. Steve stands over Tony. "Zola explained it to me. You downloaded your actual consciousness into this AI. So, for all intents and purposes, it's actually you, which is good because I would hate to think I'm going to kill a machine." He raises his shield to finish off Tony, and Tony shouts, "Wait! I'm sorry!" While he says that, though, Hydra Command picks up a weird energy signature from the mountain. Tony goes on, "I know it's not really you in there, but I still want to say it. When we went to war and I stood over your body, I knew I hadn't won anything. All I'd done was fail you. I said then that it wasn't worth it, and when you came back, I told myself that I wouldn't make that mistake again, but I did, over and over. And I thought that this time it was going to be different, right? This was my chance. I could be you this time. Give them all hope to make them believe in something, and I screwed it up, didn't I? Because I can build the most amazing things, but I can't make myself what you are. All I can do is fake it, Steve. So please know, I wanted to save you so badly because I wanted to be for you what you always were for me. My hero. I'm sorry that I let you down, Cap." And Madame Hydra runs in shouting, "Steven! Goodbye, son!" And as the building explodes in a massive explosion that Tony set off, Steve is teleported away, saving him from that death. Meanwhile, in the Red Room's base, Black Widow's team, she walks over, waking up the champions, pouring a drink for herself. "Hydra has won. Your friends are all dead. Tomorrow, we kill Captain America." And there you have it, the second part of Secret Empire, We have a ton of content to cover with this story, which is one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of it, the amount of fluff that is thrown in. If you're unaware of how long Secret Empire is, there's a 0 issue and an Omega issue, which makes a total of 12 core issues, all of which are 30 to 40 pages, which makes them an issue and a half. That's why we had to break this story up in the manner that we have. Now, I saw a lot of your comments in the first one, and some of you loved the story, some of you hated the story, so that's why we're doing the story. Let me know in the comments down below how you felt about the Bruce Banner twist, because for me, I felt like it was a wasted opportunity. Like, why bring him back if he's just going to crumble away that quickly? It almost kind of it ruins things for me, because in the Uncanny Avengers, he already came back as a zombie. Now they're making him a zombie a second time? Whatever. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about that. Subscribe to this channel to get the finale to Secret Empire and the epilogue and the Spider-Man tie-in, the Deadpool tie-in, and whatever other tie-in I feel like doing. And you can also click right here for the Secret Empire playlist and right over here for something recommended by YouTube. Thank you for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys will stick around to our channel. It really means a lot to me. Have a good night.
This is Otto Sergei.
Hello.
No, it is not. Right, okay, so like I was saying, guys, I was going to do some texturing, or some shading at least. I'm going to do some textures now for his hair. Hopefully that shading looks okay to you. It looks okay enough for me. It doesn't look brilliant, but it's a digital format, and I can't duplicate what I do on paper the same way I can on I can't duplicate what I do on paper to go to digital. It's the same way I can't do things that I do on digital to go to the paper. And that's why I do the two different types, and that's why I always do, once I've done the paper version for the week, I always do a digital version, because I want to see what other effects or things I can do on there. And I'm still learning certain techniques on digital work, especially shading. Shading is one of those things that are just really hard. I never know which tool to use when I shade. I did use a spray paint tool. Hopefully you saw that one down in the bottom here. Like I said, if you need to see what tool that is, go back over to that part of the video and check out what that name of that one. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee here and I'm burping at the same time. But yeah, if you do need any more information, or if you want to know anything else from this, or where I get this app, then ask me in the comment section down below. But if you want to hear some more Hulk, or if there is a particular story or particular person that you want me to listen to while I'm listening to Comicstorian, obviously when I'm live you can ask me to do and put on a particular thing, but as this is recorded, as you get a better look at what I'm doing with the recorded version than you do for the yes, if I was going to do this live, I would put my camera that I would do for live streaming, which is one you can see here. I do that. I have done that before, and you can see stuff. It's just the where you can see the app itself. You can't see what I'm doing. A lot of the stuff is really fuzzy, and it's not that great. So I don't do that way anymore. So I have been told the sound on this isn't that great, but I have sorted that out since then. If it isn't that good, then hopefully let me know in the comment section. But that's enough of me waffling. Like I said, we've done the Bruce Banner here, and we've done the Bruce Banner on screen there. I'm going to do some hair to the Bruce Banner picture now, because I think the eye is actually not looking too bad. I wanted to give it sort of, he's just becoming angry and he's just becoming the Hulk before the change, and then we'll do the shading in the moment for the Hulk. But I'm still working on Banner at the moment. I'm going to be still putting some few touches here, and I will now be doing the hair, because obviously I've over shaded when I've used the shading tool. I've over shaded the hair, so I'm going to put more of a hair tool. There is a hair tool that I'll be using in a moment in the tool section in the bottom here. Again, if you want to see any particular tool, or if you want me to use a particular tool, then let me know, and I will get around to doing that. But we will do the Hulk in a moment. We're just doing half and half for now. But yeah, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to continue listening to the playlist. It should... No, it's gone to Secret Empire. Give me a second.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4.
To kill Steve Rogers and
Oh, I did it again. So I'm trying to find the continuation, guys.
to kill Steve Rogers and one to recover the cosmic cube fragments and fix it. During all of this, we discovered another Steve Rogers inside of the Vanishing Point. Steve within the Vanishing Point helps the woman that he saved.
It's going to take me a second. Give me a second now. I know I'm not. It's just recording. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to do it exactly the same way as I did for
Welcome to the Complete Story series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them
Yeah, we'll get that in a moment. Right, okay. Yeah, we're going to be listening to some more Hulk. Well, I coughed my lungs up because I've still got a cough. That's why I didn't make any videos last week, guys. I was just ridiculously ill. I still can't go outside properly and get in the cold or do anything. I just feel like absolute tar at the moment. We're going to be listening, watching, of course. Oh, I've lost that again. Yeah, we're going to be listening and watching this one here. Just let me pause that a second. But yeah, we're doing some more now. I'll do some more drawing. I'll do some hair with the techniques. With the textures, which I generally just use the texture tools. There is painter tools. I don't really like the painter tools. I'm not a great painter, so I don't understand painting. I could paint you a picture on the wall, like a mural, but it wouldn't be any kind of textured thing. It would be a flat image. So that's generally how I do things. But if you're interested in me doing some art for you, then all you got to do, guys, ask me in the comment section. Or if you want a digital version sent out to you for your phone, for your tablet, or even just a background for your PC, then let me know, guys. I will not in any way be hindered for a challenge. If you guys would like to challenge me, then definitely give me a challenge. Let me know what you would like me to draw. Any request is happy is welcome. If you have anything for me to draw, or if you want to have a go at thing, there has been a couple requests already. So if you want to add to that, then definitely come over to Instagram, where I'm Blut084, BLUT084, Art and Games, and the same name, different place, wherever you go. I'm also on Mixer, so don't forget to go and check out my gaming channel, where I occasionally are. I'm not there as much as possible, or as much as I used to be, but I am there as much as possible. I used to be there every single day, and it just got, I was keeping my son up at night, and I was not sleeping myself, not getting any sleep, and just burnt myself out. So I've sort of had to decide whether I'm going to be gaming in one day and drawing in another. But I'm generally a drawer, so or an artist, so I will do a bit of art every single day. Gaming will just sort of, it's when I get chance. Apart from the VR gaming, which I do every single day, if there is a VR game for me to play. I do try and get into the VR system as well and play a little bit of VR and draw in VR, so your art VR sculpting. I have a go at that, still not great. I've made myself a room, but that was one of my sort of tasks. I thought I could try and make myself a room to walk around in, and I have. So go and check that video out, guys, and see what you think of my my room. And if you want to have a go at yourself, or again, if you want to challenge me, or If you would like a room created for you, then ask me and I will do that and send the file over to you either via a memory stick or some sort, or if it's possible then I'll send it via the email in internet or ways. I'm not sure how to do all that, but I'm sure if you guys would request it, I would figure it out and get it done for you. But otherwise, hopefully you are enjoying it. Don't forget to leave a like if you are, and we'll continue on where we left off with the story. And I'll carry on drawing.
Marvel Legacy has come out. Marvel Legacy is their version of DC Rebirth. Now, it's not a carbon copy clone. They both have their pros and their cons, and Marvel Legacy is almost like a giant ad book for all of the oncoming comics. So is DC Rebirth. But that doesn't matter. Today, we're going to run through the Marvel Legacy book so that you can be prepared for what is happening in Marvel now. And at the ending, I will tell you where each and every one of these books goes, and we will flash through the cover so you know what to go buy next to keep up to date on these storylines. It all began 1,000,000 years ago. On Earth, in the Stone Age, there was a hammer, and it lay in the open. The cavemen tried their hardest, but they couldn't lift it. No one could. That wasn't until one man walked forward. He told the cavemen to get the hell away from his hammer, and he wore a helmet with wings on it, a blue tunic, and animal skin parts. He looked down at the hammer, telling it, "I will break you, you stubborn hunk of Ura. I will bend you to my will, even if it takes 1,000,000. And another voice tells him, "You lost it again? It's swapped, that's all." A woman on fire tells him, "For an All-Father, you're a terrible liar, Lord Odin. I think whenever you throw it, the hammer sees an opportunity to escape." And Odin tells the fire woman, "I think you should mind your own damned business." The burning woman touches down next to him with a foot on the ground. "Your prophecy in battle has become my business, Asgardian. Whether I like it or not, for the Phoenix does not plan on dying here today. Did you see the monster fall?" Odin turns his back to the Phoenix. "Dying? Does this look like Valhalla? Nay, 'tis still just Midgard. Damn me a fool for ever creating this place. It has been nothing but trouble. And I, pretty bird, I saw it fall. 'Twas Mjolnir and the Odin force that finally felled the beast." He reaches down grabbing his hammer, and with everything he has, he picks it up off of the ground. Even the Phoenix comments that it seemingly took a lot of effort to lift it up. He walks to another group of people, one in a panther skin, one with a brand burned into his chest, one with a flaming skull for a head, another with fists of fire and a sorcerer supreme. That's right, they are the Black Panther, Starbrand, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, and Agimoto. One might even call them the Avengers of 10,000,000 BC. This group of heroes from the before times looks over at a being that looks like an alien. It's odd and out of place in this barren wasteland of time, and it is in fact a celestial. A race of cosmic giants as old as time itself. And this one landed on Midgard. He begins to rise, and the team discusses what they should do next, for there are more out there. This thing is huge, and it may crush the earth. And as Odin leads the charge, he shouts, "We will kill it! We will nail its corpse to the moon to warn others not to come here. For this world may be hideous and inbred, but it is not without its protectors." Now in the current day, Robbie Reyes awakens in his car to some tapping on the window. He wakes up confused as to where he is, and he sees the guy tapping on the window is a police officer. Looking around, he hits the gas and he speeds off to discover that he is in fact in South Africa. He races around the streets and the hills until he sees a glowing man in the dust. "Ryder, I knew you'd be the first to come." He punches a hole through the window, telling him, "Robbie Reyes, I am sorry, but I can't let you near it." He grabs Robbie, throwing him to the ground. "You are not ready to face the destruction of what it will bring to this world. None of us are. That is why it has to stay buried, no matter who has to die to keep it that way. No matter who Starbrand has to kill." And that's when the car runs over Starbrand. Robbie gets up, and now he's mad and his head lights on fire. "Right. Your face is about to be destined to be punched 1,000,000 times by the damn Ghost Rider." Meanwhile, in Jotunheim, the realm of the giants, Loki stands there in front of his true family. "I know what you're thinking. This isn't the life I was expecting, that I was destined to have. Join the club. Now, go through the portal and retrieve the trinket." He sends them off on their mission, and the giants find themselves standing in a hidden shield facility. And as they go through, he tells himself, "Hi, I'm Loki. the littlest, most liarish giant. And believe it or not, I'm here to save the world. At the facility, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents walk inside, and they explain that in this facility are things that will blow everyone to hell 1,000 times over. And this is where the worst of the worst is kept. They know everything in this facility, except for that one crate in front of them. 4-1939. Elsewhere on that base, the Giants are making their way through the facility, and the agents request backup ASAP. The guard on top says that they have 2 individuals in or out, and they respond by telling them they won't need the elevator. Thor and Captain America break through the wall, entering the battle. They swing their hammers, their wings, and the shield, beating down on the Giants until one grabs a hostage. That's when Ironheart soars in to shove that giant down. As they make nice and get ready to fight again, the unmarked crate 4-1939 sits nearby, glowing. In another part of the world, a man known as Steve Rogers is sitting in a diner when the news explains what happened. The leader of Hydra was actually a fake Steve Rogers, and he is now in prison. So the question is, where is the real Steve Rogers? While this man is sitting in the diner, the question becomes, does he even know where he is? Because at this point, he seems a little lost as to what is happening next. Can he regain the trust that his evil doppelganger lost for him? And up in Asgardia, the home of the gods, Odin's son is sitting with a beer in his hands and thoughts of being unworthy in his head. He decides that if he can't be worthy, then he'll be drunk. And that's when a Azar stands on the Rainbow Bridge, looking out over the vast cosmos in front of him. He jumps off as he says 3 words. Mangog is coming. The whole of Asgard shudders without knowing why. Over in the Stark facility, Mary Jane Watson is brought into one of the most secure rooms to see if she can figure out why the body of Tony Stark is missing. The last report said that he was still in a coma for the Civil War II event, back in South Africa. The Ghost Rider punches Starbrand in the face, knocking him down. Stand down, whoever you are. I don't want to hurt you. Well, maybe a little after you dented my car, but the more you push me, the more the hurting is going to happen, whether I like it or not. Starbrand grabs a rock, throwing it at the Ghost Rider. You're learning to control the demon inside more and more every day, but you still hold back, which means you don't truly understand why you're here or what's at stake. All the more reason for you to fall. The Ghost Rider lands in the streets of a town, and Starbrand flies over, blasting the spot where he landed. These are times that will try us, that will reshape everything that we know, especially those of us who have been here since the beginning. Since the Great Fall and the first host, this world is cursed because of us. Its chaos is our greatest legacy. He rockets forward, grabbing the Ghost Rider by the throat. Beings like us must protect this world from ourselves, and the Ghost Rider replies with fiery hell breath. Stop the cray and fall the hell down already! Over at the dig site, Ghost Rider slams Starbrand into the ground and the panic ensues. No, not this place! The Fallen is drawing me here! I can't let the Rider find it! I won't! The men digging tell him to raise his hands, and he doesn't give them the time of day as he blasts them, killing them, and he soars back into the sky. Meanwhile, Deadpool is in the dark, looking at a wall. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm not exactly sure which sins. If I had to guess, I'd probably say all of them, especially the ones that involve murdering and the various forms of crippling and self-love. Does that count? And someone outside yells, "This isn't a confessional! It's a restroom in the Roxy Burger! You're under arrest for the death of Phil Coulson! Come out with your hands up!" Of course, Deadpool doesn't move, so they shoot through the stall, peppering Deadpool with bullets. As they tear into his body, he simply says, "Thank you, Father. May I have another? Thank you, Father. May I have another?" Over on Bleecker Street, Dr. Strange is feeling something coming. And Iron Fist asks him, "Doc, this might sound strange, but did you have a dream that you were a caveman fighting a god?" And Strange tells him, "Many times." Back with Captain America, Thor, and Ironheart, they are fighting off the Giants as they attack, and one by one they get dropped, but eventually, one of them slips by and grabs a crate. A crate labeled 4-1939. Back in New York City, 2 individuals are overlooking the city. You may know them, you may not, but they're important to our tale. Johnny Blaze, the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. So much is going on, Ben. Do you think they even remember us? I mean, they can make a whole team out of Hulks and Thors right now. I worry that the world just doesn't need us anymore, Ben. Spoken like a true moron, as usual. Do they need us? You bet my sweet Aunt Petunia they need us. Johnny, now more than ever. Who cares what folks don't remember, as long as we never forget. And he fires the Fantastic Four symbol into the sky. Back out in space is a new intergalactic nation forming, one of Wakanda. And there's a signal shooting back from space, one from Sakaar, to Earth, telling the Hulk that it is time to come home. He is needed on his planet again, and back in Africa. The Ghost Rider has a chain wrapped around Starbrand until Starbrand snaps it, telling him, "Accept your defeat! You cannot defeat me!" And the Ghost Rider tells him, "Ghost Riders aren't good at staying down." As Starbrand burns him in the chest, "You will learn. The Starbrand will teach you to be thankful for the quick death I'm about to give you, Rider." And the Ghost Rider looks back at him. "Not afraid of death, but tell me, are you afraid of a little penance?" The penance stairs goes off, burning into Starbrand's soul, and he looks up in horror. "So many dead, so many. You are all doomed. The sleeper will wake, the horde will feed, and the host will..." And then he explodes. The Ghost Rider reverts back to Robbie Reyes, and he asks himself, since when could I do that? This whole thing makes zero sense. He loads back up into his car and he drives out of the dig site, the one that Starbrand was so afraid that he would find. We then see the men digging, moving deeper into it, and we see what they were hiding this whole time. What was so bad that Starbrand needed to murder them? A giant, celestial hand, and it speaks.
Summon the final host. Cleanse them all.
Back in the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, Thor, Cap, and Ironheart are finished, and the agents come down and say that everything is accounted for. At least, what they have records for. Because elsewhere, that giant is running with one box, the one that they got away with, the unmarked one. And just when he thinks that he's going to make a break for it, a truck crashes into him. He gets up furious, calling the driver stupid, so the driver gets out of the cab and walks down to him. "You hear me, human? You're dead!" And the man looks down at his knuckles and gives them a crack. "Nah, not no more, I ain't." Claws pop out of those knuckles, and he swings at the giant's face. And back in a cabin in the woods, Jean Grey approaches it and walks inside, looking at the tomb of one of the greatest heroes that she ever knew, Logan. But this isn't the resting place for that hero anymore, as his tomb has been broken open, and she smiles. "Welcome back. We missed you." Back at the truck, Logan pops the top of a beer, and he chugs it down before sticking the can in the giant's open chest wound. He looks over at the crate that he dropped, the 4-1939 crate, and he opens it up to find an Infinity Stone, and as he looks at it, it shines over his face, showing us that this is the right Logan, the young Logan. Ain't we a hell of a pair? Out in space, the Guardians of the Galaxy get a ping. Another Infinity Stone has been found because they're on a journey to find them all, to save the universe, and Loki steps down into the dig site where he hears the voice,
"Summon the final host."
and Loki agrees. Now that's a good idea. Why don't we do that? Everything is building to this, the final host coming, the universe is in jeopardy, and the heroes will be needed. There will be a want for legacy, the legacy of saving the world. So, what do? I suppose we do what our kind always does. What has become our legacy? We stand on the shoulders of super geniuses and space gods. We close our eyes and imagine a better, brighter, more amazing tomorrow. Then we bring it to life. Something grand and fun and mind-staggeringly ridiculous. Something full of hope and compassion. Something both real and profoundly mad. Something magical. Something fantastic. Because somewhere else, not in space, not on the planet, between the universes is a hand, and it is reaching out. And a child's hand reaches back. Franklin Richards asks his sister what she's doing as she snaps, telling him, "Mind your own business." And as they both race off, imagining home and how they can get there. There you have it, Marvel Legacy. If you want to know my opinion on this storyline, I thought this single issue was great, but this single issue doesn't matter. It's going to really come down to how good are the follow-up storylines. Are they good? Are they bad? Are we going to enjoy them? Because one issue does not sell me that Marvel is going to be that much better at this point. So, go ahead and subscribe to this channel to find out what is good going on for Marvel Legacy, what is bad, and what you can tell me you enjoy. And don't forget, you can find out more on Twitter at ComicStorian. I'll see you next time right here. A lot of you guys have been asking about Batch 8.
Okay. Yeah, so there we go, guys. There is the Bruce Banner finished. All we need to do now is do the Hulk. We'll get on to do the Hulk. And more of the Hulk. The last thing we just listened to, for some reason, I didn't have any Hulk in it at all. It did say it did have some, so yeah, well, it's another story connected to another story, I guess. Definitely go and check that one out. I'm a fan of any kind of superhero type comic, or any kind of comic really. So I'm quite happy to listen to that one. But yeah, we're going to listen to we will be listening to some more Hulk. in a moment, because I've just queued up another one, but I kind of think we're running out of things to listen to by the Comic Historian, because they're not a huge fan of the Hulk, but then again there's not a huge amount of Hulk out there, to be honest with you. Hulk generally sort of pops in on other stories because he stays as Bruce Banner for most of it and then hulks out when he's needed, because that's what the Hulk is. He hulks out from Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner's the brains and Hulk is the brawn, but that's not to say that they can't combine and become the same one or same person. There has been a grey Hulk. There's been another Hulk. The Red Hulk is a different Hulk altogether, but the Green Hulk is the main Hulk, which is what we're going to be doing again in the moment. We're going to be carrying on with where we left off, with the story or the playlist. It's something they created. Give me a second, guys, my throat's really sore. There we go. Yeah, like I said, I can't edit or cut this. If you have any editing software that is free or really cheap, let me know, guys, and you won't get all this crap in the middle. I'll be able to edit and add music and things like that, but I don't do that at the moment. Still sort of learning and still getting things correct. If you guys have enjoyed this, definitely let me know. We're now hitting up 50 minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it here and say thank you very much for watching. Come back again. I do apologise it's taking me this long to get here, but it does take this long to get a piece of art done, and I don't do speed up videos. Like I said, if you have got any idea where I can get some good free or very cheap editing software, or if it's editing software that's good, that's a one-off payment. I don't like doing subscriptions. I don't see the point in subscribing to something like editing tools, so I have to keep paying a monthly subscription to it. I don't believe you should have to do that if you're going to buy a software. I think you should buy the software. Yeah, you should pay for an upgrade, but a monthly subscription is fucking ridiculous. Same with Photoshop. You have to pay monthly to get to use that. Again, it's stupid. I'm not paying a monthly subscription when I can buy a one-off thing like I have done here. But this one here was free, which is pretty good. I do use a lot of free and cheap stuff. If you guys again have got something, please let me know in the comment section down below, or come over to Instagram and give me a link over there. I would love it for people to sort of get involved and help me out here. But I'm going to end this video here, so don't forget to click the links that will appear in the middle of the screen, or hit the other ones around to check out some other stuff, what else I get up to and other things. But if you want to see the rest of this, it will be released either today or over the next couple of days, so don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Leave a like if you have, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Blut084, BLUT084, and then the next video, Hulk smash.